Coming up, I go one-on-one with Tim Tebow.
So don't go away.
Welcome
Nice.
to television.
Sweet. All right.
I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man.
Favorite
Absolutely.
Bible verse? You have a favorite?
I'd say
Here's what I want to do.
got a lot of them.
I get to kind of set this up tomorrow, and I would love to use one of your favorite Bible verses as kind of a way of Philippians 4:13.
Yeah, I mean, that's one that's huge. John 3:16 is huge for me as well, because
I kind of want to talk just about how all the things going on and how you continually face it and overcome it.
I'd say the biggest thing with Philippians 4:13 is so many people, pastors included, they believe that verse means I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, meaning I can do a lot of things. But what I believe that really means in the context of it is I can do all things, meaning I can handle all things. Whatever position God's put me in, maybe it's poverty, maybe it's a sickness, my kid's sick. God's going to give me the strength to handle that. Yeah. So I think it's more talking about handling adversity than actually handling praise or accomplishing much. It's talking about, you know what, I can do all things, meaning all negative things, I can handle them all because of Christ. You know?
And I look at it both ways too, is that I think there's times when things are great.
Absolutely.
That I can handle that as well as when things aren't great.
The strength to handle whatever comes. The strength to be different. That's the story of Tim Tebow. This episode of A Football Life is like no other. But then, so is Tebow. In high school, he was anointed the chosen one. In college, his legs made him a champion, a Heisman Trophy winner. His arm made him one of the most controversial draft picks ever.
And he is going to be, after all is said and done, a first-round pick.
Omaha, we go!
He became master of the comeback.
He's in trouble. He can run to the left side. Tebow's going to run to 5, and Denver's got a touchdown.
And remained a servant to his Lord.
I stand up for what I believe, and I'm never shy about that.
The polarizing Denver quarterback appears to be winning the fascination of the sporting world.
By taking a knee, his star rose on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook.
If you haven't heard of Tim Tebow, then you're obviously somewhere waiting for the Navy SEALs to rescue you.
And on the red carpet.
Tim, inside the NFL? Tim. Inside the NFL, the show the pros.
just walks by. No love.
I just got Tebow.
Now, in New York, he's the most famous backup in sports. We've never seen anyone like Tim Tebow, but we've seen several quarterbacks who embody the different parts of his life. The man of faith, the outsider, the jack of all trades, the quarterback within, the superstar. This show is about their football lives and his. These are the faces of Tim Tebow.
You're going to be a football player when you grow up.
Today is the best day of your life. Believe it.
He might be the finest quarterback produced in the last 10 years.
He's a day like that. That's all I need.
Fortunately for me, I didn't lose my life. I didn't lose my job. Football convinced me that life is a team game.
Rest of your life, nobody can ever tell you that you couldn't do it.
Coming up on The Faces of Tebow, A Football Life.
I was always viewed as unconventional, and so is Tim Tebow. When you don't fit the mold, it messes with their heads.
The 5 quarterbacks who've shared Tim Tebow's fame.
He's better prepared than I was by a long shot.
His game.
I've been very critical, and I feel I have the right to be because I was that style of player.
His faith.
Are you saving yourself for marriage?
There's many, many people that really admire it. The big thing is that Tim is living it.
His future.
He has the natural throwing talent to actually be efficient and be good at it, and then possibly great at it.
Tim, a lot of athletes can't handle New York.
What equips you to deal with the demands, the challenges, and the circus that may come to town?
I think Tim's prepared better than anyone that's gone in there in this kind of situation. Dealing with the media, dealing with endorsements, dealing with requests for your time. He's better prepared than I was by a long shot.
This is fame, distilled into a single pose, a calculated blend of sex and humor. Perfect for sports' first made-for-TV star, Joe Namath.
Now, I don't wear pantyhose, but if beauty mist can make my legs look good, imagine what they'll do for yours.
And this is fame, distilled into a single pose. It's a new kind of open-source stardom, driven not only by TV cameras, but camera phones.
What's your reaction to the Tebow craze that's lighting up Twitter right now?
The praying thing?
Tebow has gone from noun to verb. It's become a worldwide phenomenon, hasn't it?
The stars, like the poses, couldn't be more different. But they share one thing: attention.
How's it going? Good to see all of y'all. So, a lot of people here.
Attention from women.
I like everything he does. What are some of the things he does that you like?
I am so excited. I love Tebow.
So you have that Tim Tebow thing?
Oh, I think all women have that. You know,
Really?
he seems he's attractive. He seems like he's a good boy.
And constant attention from the media.
It's time for our daily Tebow.
Tim Sanity, that's what they're calling it here in the Big Apple. Your arrival here in the New York area has caused quite a stir.
You've got the backup quarterback holding press conferences and getting sandwiches named after him.
What are we calling this?
The Tebow Witch.
The Tebow Witch.
Jeremy Lin just called and said, hey, the media attention's a bit much, okay?
Tebow mania. Linsanity. They're the descendants of Namath's star. New York was the crucible in which the culture of the modern sports celebrity was forged, and it was his life and nightlife at the heart of it.
It seems almost un-American to me for a bachelor not to marry, go around having a drink with a lady now and then. And why all of a sudden that's becoming evil in me, I don't know.
Anything I did off the field didn't matter. Just judge me from my work on the football field. Well, New York did teach me that it's not that way.
Joe, of course, being the tremendous celebrity you are, don't you expect all of this excitement over your activities?
I don't expect for people to make up stories about you.
Good story that is one that gets controversial.
I came out of my apartment the other day with a plastic glass in my hand with coffee in it, and they took a picture, and in the caption they had Namath with drink in hand walking down the street,
It doesn't have to be right or wrong necessarily to make a good story.
Tebow's no Namath, but that doesn't mean he's immune to the Page 6 treatment.
Does he have a girlfriend?
Apparently, Kate Upton might be his girlfriend.
What?
Can you confirm or deny the rumor?
Yes, I can deny half the rumors. I've never even met the people. It's just another one of those rumors, like I'm living in Hoboken.
I used to get very upset with negativities, things that I'd hear. Even if I fouled up and deserved it, I still got upset.
Honestly, not worry about what I can't control. That's something I learned early on at Florida, is if you can't control it, don't worry about it.
Tim's been prepared better than I have. Experiencing more contact with a variety of people has a great deal to do with his calmness, demeanor.
Namath's star helped shape this non-stop sports media world. But Tebow's grown up in it. The attention's been following him every step of the way, not just New York. A crucible of a different kind awaits him there.
You do have to show it on the field. That old saying, actions speak louder than words.
Namath's arm spoke volumes. Tebow's still needs to find its voice.
The younger Joe Namath would have said, he can't play quarterback. I would have probably been harsh on his passing ability. I promise you, I'm a fan of Tim Tebow. using his strengths, and that's being able to run and throw on the run some. As a steady diet, will that work? I don't think so. But as a mix, I believe it can work.
In 2011, those strengths beat Namath's old team. And maybe they made an impression on Tebow's future coaches.
I think you're going to see more Tim Tebow running the ball here. His best attribute is running the ball with power, and I'd be surprised if he didn't run it again.
12th play of the drive, 3rd down and 4. Tebow escapes and he can run. 25-20, Tebow 15, inside the 10, inside the 5. Are you kidding?
Even though it's a different style, he is a winner.
If Tebow can win in New York, maybe he can share the most famous Namath pose of them all.
I was always viewed as a guy that was unconventional, and so is Tim Tebow.
In college, Tim Tebow threw different.
Here's the thing with Tim. Oftentimes that ball will just naturally come down and give me the big wind-up, which is too slow, Rich. It's too slow. Yeah, you're going to get, come on.
He lined up different, dropped back different.
You got to learn that rhythm that you're coming away from the center.
I wasn't under center that much.
That's not natural to a guy that plays in the shotgun all the time.
Some of the stuff is just a little bit different than what I'm used to.
He ran the option. He just ran. All this to the NFL made him different.
When you don't fit the mold, it messes with their heads.
At Boston College, Doug Flutie won a Heisman. He threw the Hail Flutie. While his accomplishments stood tall, he did not. That's what made him different.
I just wish I was 6'3" for one day so that they would say, okay, we'll draft you. Being 5'10", you're going to have to prove yourself every day on the practice field, in workouts. The guy that's 6'4", 6'5", he's got to prove he can't play.
In 1988, Flutie proved he could, when New England quarterbacks Steve Grogan and Tony Eason got hurt.
There is an electric feeling here today because Doug Flutie is back.
They call him the Magic Man, and for good reason.
The local hero won 6 games and drove the Patriots to the cusp of the playoffs.
Touchdown, Doug Flutie! This place has gone icky-balooky.
But when Eason came back, Flutie was benched and eventually released.
If they didn't view me as the guy and a franchise quarterback, the popularity, especially in the New England area for me, became a headache for the team.
With the 25th pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Tim Tebow.
If anyone ever thought Tim Tebow could be the guy, it was Josh McDaniels. Somewhere, in all that was different, the Broncos head coach saw a franchise quarterback.
Get it up. Don't be doing this, okay? You're spinning and it's coming down. In and back out. Come on, the little things.
But McDaniels was fired 8 months later. And in 2011, a new regime inherited his project. It anointed Kyle Orton the starting quarterback. But Orton soon struggled.
The pass is picked off in coverage, and they're booing Orton already.
It seemed like the entire state of Colorado wanted Tebow to start.
Release the Tebow! This is what you want in Denver, so you're going to get a look at Tim Tebow.
Finally, I got something to cheer for. It's not Orton. Let's go, Broncos!
He's just got to play, and they've just got to play him from now on out.
Touchdown, Tim Tebow.
When Tebow started winning, it was Broncos fans who went icky-balooky.
It's very similar to what was happening with me in New England back in the late 80s. If he needs to be the starter for a period of time, he's proven that we can win that way.
Tebow time in overtime. The Denver Broncos win, 16-13.
But he's not our guy.
John Elway was asked After that Tebow time victory, if he's any closer to having the franchise quarterback on his team, in his estimation, he said no. Major furor, major uproar from the fan base. A lot of people believe he doesn't really want to root for Tim Tebow, that he wants somebody else.
If you really don't believe the guy's going to be the guy, keep that to yourself. And just, take care of business over here, but let him go play.
After New England, Flutie had to go to Canada to play. There, he was named Most Outstanding Player 6 times, won 3 Grey Cups, and earned another shot at the NFL in 1998.
I got a call from Buffalo saying they were interested. It wasn't a lot of money. Let's go try to prove them wrong one more time.
This time, Rob Johnson was the starter who got injured.
And look at this, Doug Flutie now is coming in.
Flutie stepped in and did what he'd always done. He took a team that was wanting and gave it what it needed.
Can you believe it?
Going to Buffalo and having success was probably the most satisfying year of my career. Went to a Pro Bowl, took the team to the playoffs, the whole bit.
Here's Flutie, and he is in for the touchdown. 13 seconds left.
It was a way to have peace with myself about my career a little bit, that yes, I can play at that level.
With a playoff spot already clinched, the Bills rested Flutie and started Johnson in the 1999 regular season finale.
Rob played well. I felt like something was up, and I knew it.
This week, as far as quarterback's concerned, I'm starting Rob Johnson.
Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson. He's got something.
The man behind the Hail Flutie had to watch the Music City Miracle from the sideline. Flutie never played another game for Buffalo.
It was frustrating to watch. A team that you've been such a big part of all year long, now you're on the sideline watching.
Sources tell me the Broncos did hold discussions about the possibility of preparing backup Brady Quinn for action in some capacity against the Steelers.
They could yank Tebow completely if he begins to struggle.
Like Flutie, Tebow led his team to the playoffs, only to have his role there cast into doubt. Ultimately, Tebow got the opportunity Flutie was denied and made the most of it.
Touchdown, Denver!
Who's to say what would have happened if I had played? I don't know. But to see Tim do well in a playoff situation against a defense like Pittsburgh.
Denver's football, first snap of overtime here, tied at 23.
To come up with a big play in overtime to win it.
Shotgun for Tim Tebow. Tim play fakes in the pocket, sets, throws, pass caught. Demaryius Thomas out over the 45 midfield. Here we go, 40, 35, foot race, 20, 15, 10. Touchdown, Denver is over. It's over in Denver.
You read coverage and throw the football accurately. Things that are questioned with Tim. Couldn't have asked for anything more.
2 months later, the Broncos traded Tim Tebow. As it turns out, he was never the guy in Denver, and one wonders if he ever will be anywhere.
The one thing I wish, and looking back, that if I could have changed or would have liked to have happened would have been play with one team for a long period of time and be established with that city and that team. I still feel a little bit of an outsider. I didn't have that niche where I was there for 12, 13 years, like a Jim Kelly. I would have loved to have had that length of time in one city.
I just want to thank the Broncos for my time in Denver. I'm excited about being a Jet, and this is where I want to be.
Before I bring out our first presenter, there's one thing I need to take care of, so excuse me. No?
Just this year, they started calling it Tebowing, which I have no idea why. But I've been doing the same thing for the last 7 years, and this year it just seemed to get popular. But I do think it's pretty cool because at least, prayer is being talked about.
My brother pulled it up and showed me one. It said Tebowing while chemoing, and he was trying so hard to get on a knee. And I just, how cool is that?
My goal is to
create a brighter day for as many people as I possibly can by being on this earth and being someone that can be a good role model.
What's up, my man? How you doing? Yeah, you having fun? I like it, man. You don't have to get on a knee. It's a game of football right there. I like it, man. Yeah? You remember me and you at Florida? I remember. Absolutely. You been having fun? Has Liz been taking care of you? Yes. Yeah? You having a good time? Yes. You think we're gonna win today? Oh, yeah. I hope so. Yeah. All right, man. You be rooting us on, all right? Okay. All right, I'll look forward to seeing you after the game, all right, buddy? All right, see you, man. Okay. I think that we each have our own people that we can influence for God, and I think we just have to try to take advantage of that, and whenever you have the opportunity, just share from your heart.
Some people won't agree with it, you know, but I think they can at least respect that I stand up for what I believe.
I think he sets a great example, and I think he lives it. When you're Tebowing and you're on your knee and you're praying, hopefully that's who you are. I just like the guy. He just seems for real to me.
They both won Heismans and were two of the most famous players in college football history. One is Captain America, a Vietnam War veteran. The other, as wholesome as apple pie.
You see kids and they're like, you're my hero, and I do nothing special. You're someone who put his life on the line for our country. That's a real hero.
Our God is an awesome God. He went from heaven above with.
The way I live my life is in direct proportion to my faith.
The motivating force in my life has been my Christian faith.
James, who in Scripture, he wasn't a coach or anything, he was a Scripture person, said you show your faith through your works, and I've tried to adhere to that.
I think the greatest way to share the gospel is by acting it and by them seeing who you are as a person.
The great works of Roger Staubach's life were faith and family. But in the age of Namath, they made him look out of touch, even after winning Super Bowl VI.
After the Super Bowl for the MVP, instead of getting a Dodge Charger, I asked him for a station wagon. Old Staubach, he must be a lot of fun. Well, you know, we had three kids, and it had two more, so I didn't need a Dodge Charger.
Because you mentioned God, or you mentioned your family, of course you're not having fun, you're a square. You interviewed Joe Namath. Everyone in the world compares me to Joe Namath, you know, as far as, you know, the idea of off the field. He's single, bachelor swinging, I'm married and family, and, you know, he's having all the fun. And, you know, I enjoy sex as much as Joe Namath. Only I do it with one girl, you know.
There you go.
But it's still fun, you know. It's the same thing, and everybody likes, you know, like you're married and have a family. It's not fun, and to me, it's unbelievable. I mean, that's my life, and I enjoy it.
It kind of took off then. I've heard it been repeated a number of times.
One of the most amusing articles I've ever read was the one where you proclaimed that maybe you were a square, but squares could have just as much enjoyment as guys like Joe Namath.
It's been 46 years and it's still one woman, so I go on record to say that.
Are you saving yourself for marriage?
I believe very strongly that you go into marriage and that should be your first night.
Yes, I am.
Being a senior, what would you say?
I think y'all are stunned right now. Y'all can't even ask a question. Look at this. The first time ever. Wow. I mean, I was ready for the question. I don't think y'all were, though.
There's many, many people that really admire it. The big thing is that Tim is living it.
You gonna tell me when to go?
Tebow practices what he preaches. It's who he is, except when he isn't.
There's only one person that carries the ball right here. Omaha, we go.
There's another Tim Tebow, and the world sees him for 60 minutes every Sunday.
You need to have a lot of emotion, not let it get to you emotion, but have enough emotion where you care so much that you're willing to do anything to win and your teammates see that.
You hate to say it's a dog-eat-dog world out on the football field, and you can't be a nice guy on the football field.
You can be a nice person and do nice things. On the field, though, you got to understand where you are. You got to have a mean streak in you.
For Staubach, That mean streak manifested itself in a career filled with comebacks.
The Cowboys have come from behind unbelievably.
Including, appropriately enough, the Hail Mary.
Well, the Cowboys need a miracle. Roger, he's going long. Down the near sideline for Drew Pearson. Pearson makes the catch at the 5, touchdown. What you believe in?
A quarterback's major role is to transfer his own confidence, and Tebow's got a lot of confidence.
So you're good. Good, my fault, man. Hey, no big deal. Just makes it closer for a little bit longer, man. You're about to go catch the game winner. And then you'll be the hero of the game.
Denver last year, it just kept getting stronger for Tebow. The team believed in him.
Tim steps up, he can run. Tim's at the 10, throws, pass caught. Demaryius Thomas in the end zone. Touchdown Denver, don't go away just yet.
Thank you, Lord.
I've been believing.
Thank you, Lord.
I'm praying, that's it.
Thank you, Lord.
51 yards for the victory. Prater with plenty of leg on the way.
Thank you, Lord.
For his comeback ways in 2011, Tebow won the league's first Never Say Never award.
Way to believe, baby. Way to believe, baby. It's all about you. Gotta believe every day.
I just want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and thank you. I would like to accept this award on behalf of my team, my coaches, and the Broncos fans who showed so much determination and heart all year. And I really guess you never can say never. Alec Baldwin's up here praying, so that's pretty cool. So God bless y'all, and y'all have a good night.
He delivered on the most famous promise in college football history.
I'm sorry. Extremely sorry. We were hoping for an undefeated season. That was my goal, something Florida's never done here. But I promise you one thing, a lot of good will come out of this. You have never seen any player in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season, and you never see someone push the rest of the team as hard as I will push everybody the rest of the season, and you never see a team play harder than we will the rest of this season. God bless.
He delivered on one of the most famous prayers in college football history.
Stewart lets it go. He's got 3 people down there. The ball's up in the air. Caught. Touchdown! Incredible!
2 prominent NFL franchises spent high draft picks on these 2 very unconventional players. Did they get great quarterbacks, or did they get great football players?
You're on a team to win games, and that's it. However we can do that.
All I want to do is just play the game.
When they released the Tebow, oh, baby, talk about what we've been talking about all along. The man can play football, baby.
I'm a football player first before quarterback, and whatever we can do to win games.
Come on, Cordell!
When I went to the Combine and we had our individual meeting, question was, if we needed you to do something else, would you? And what you think my answer would be? No, Coach, I'm gonna be a quarterback. That's all I want to do. Of course not. I said, I'll do whatever it takes to win. I knew it was a big chance I was taking because of how the mindset of the National Football League is. I figured a jack of all trades, master of nothing. The more you can do, the better.
Look at Cordell.
Turns, looks for the end zone, fires, and it's out of the end zone. Slash, Stewart.
The nickname Slash was born.
Good job, Slash.
Slash is lined up in the backfield.
Slash in motion. Slash is the quarterback.
It was Coach Cowher. It was just a conversation we were having. He was like, oh, you can be quarterback slash running back slash wide receiver, and hell, if we need you to punt, we can do that too, kind of deal.
And he's going to pooch it. He does it all.
Myron Cope got a hold of it on his radio station. Ha, Slash is in the game.
Ha!
He's the wave of the National Football League. And you think that guy ain't going to be a heck of a quarterback in his National Football League? Baloney.
I'm telling you, it was the most fun ever. But it tainted the quarterback position for me a little bit. But at the same time, it gave me an in. They figured, well, if he can do all these things, great. If we put him in the right situation and accommodate his skill set, it could be something special. And it was my first year starting in '97. The man formerly known as Slash.
In his first season as a starting quarterback, Cordell Stewart led the Steelers to the AFC Championship game. But he also experienced the growing pains that most young quarterbacks do.
Cordell, throw the ball! We're not playing bocce ball. You ever seen bocce ball? You throw the thing real high in the air. You're driving me nuts. You're driving me nuts.
The following year, those growing pains hurt a lot more.
Bill Cowher has pulled Cordell Stewart.
I've never been yanked before in my life. When he yanked me, he yanked a part of me out. You know, my heart, my soul, my passion. If we're gonna be that excited when things are great at slash or at quarterback, we need to let tough times come about too. Give me a chance to lose. Give me a chance to fail. Give me a chance to deal with it in the newspapers. I'm not running from it. Give me that chance.
Cordell's first benching wasn't his last, but he learned to handle his confrontations with Bill Cowher in a more humorous manner.
One time we was in the game, he was like, Cordell! 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 I know you hear me calling you.
I know you can hear me. I know you can hear me.
Like, I hear him, I'm just not looking. I'll talk to him later, kind of deal.
Come on!
Tim Tebow might find it a little more difficult to tune out his critics, because in his brief NFL career, there have been plenty.
He's the worst quarterback in the NFL. He can't make basic throws that an NFL quarterback does.
I do love watching Tebow play. I gotta say, he combines the fiery leadership of Ray Lewis with the throwing ability of Ray Lewis. And
if you're going off of the conventional way of how the quarterback position is played, it's not good.
Oh, he had Decker wide open.
Would have been an easy completion, although we haven't had any completion, so any completion would be a good completion at this point.
How is this man scoring touchdowns, only completing 35 to 52% of his passes? Really?
Now he's throwing long to the near side for Eric Decker. He's got him over the shoulder. 10-5 touchdown. Tebow puts it on the money.
Perfect throw by Tebow, the first real spiral that he's thrown in some time.
The second completion of the game for Tim Tebow.
It's different than how everybody else done it. It's even different than how I've done it. 50 to 55 minutes can be atrocious. It could be the most horrific things you can see. But the last 5 minutes, for some reason...
If you're ever going to get hot and do something, now would be a good time to do it.
Anything can happen.
25 seconds to go in the game. Tebow sets, throws. Bells is going to walk into the end zone. Denver touchdown. Don't go away yet. Tebow, quarterback draw. Tebow's going to be into the end zone.
If you would have written this script, you wouldn't have believed it.
Now we know, no matter how bad the first three quarters are, fourth quarter, anything seems to be possible with Tim Tebow.
What he brings to the table is the heart of a lion, and he wins.
You know, it's one of the great lessons that you learn in football is, that courage to keep fighting. When you're down, when you get knocked down over and over again, are you going to keep getting up?
That's what you have to love about Tim Tebow. And I think that's what the world loves about him. He's a fighter.
The fighter is now taking his hits in New York, where there are more critics.
Let me tell you something. Yeah. If Tim Tebow can play safety, it might be the greatest trade of the century.
How is this going to work? Tell me, it's not.
And more questions about how best to use this football player.
And guess who was on special teams? Tim Tebow.
I've always said that I'm a football player first and then a quarterback, although, that is my dream. That's what I want to be, and it's what I believe I am as a quarterback. But however I can help the team, however they can use me, I'll be open to it.
When you start running the Wildcat and what that does, you can't just slough it off. And there's a lot of coordinators will be like, oh, it's no big deal. Yes, it is. You really can't tell that lie because I've been there in your shoes.
Rex Ryan has seen it many times when he was in Baltimore, when I was in Pittsburgh, running around making that defense go stone crazy. Ray Lewis, he said to me many times he hated playing against myself and Mark Brunell because he was a spy. He was the one that had to catch us. That's what they have up in New York now, is that type of player that can create those types of issues. To see him do it the way I've done it, I don't think no one will ever be able to do it that way. But as a cousin or a brother from another mother kind of deal, yeah, it may be able to work.
Cordell Stewart is one of the few people who knows what it's like to be a great football player wanting to be a great quarterback. But don't expect Slash to show Tebow any sympathy.
I don't feel sorry for him because of his skill set or how people are treating him, because at the end of the day, truthfully, he has to earn it like every other quarterback that played the position.
Where is Tim Tebow going? Perhaps more than any other, it's the question at the heart of his story. What does he have to do to get better? Can he?
Tim has some fundamental flaws in his delivery, especially below the belt. His knees and his lower body, he gets himself in really bad spots. I think he's done a really good job of working around the fundamental flaws. For the short run, it actually won some games. But is it enough to go be a full-time, every down quarterback in the NFL and be really successful? Those are the things he should be fixing immediately.
When you've started and won, when you're getting snaps all over an NFL field, maybe the question becomes, why change at all?
I told him, you got to fix it. And sometimes people just feel like they don't need to. You just got to believe that there's something wrong first, I think, you know.
The lure of the field is powerful for the superior athlete. Cordell Stewart answered its call and became Slash. And as an 8th string quarterback at Brigham Young University, Steve Young faced a similar choice.
Someone says, hey, you could play safety, you could play corner, you could play a lot of positions. Don't you want to get on the field? You can take it as a backhanded compliment, right? That, you know, you're talented enough to play another number of other spots. But when you're really focused on playing quarterback, it's painful. I had to be very hard-headed about it.
Young waited. And when he went from 8th string to 1st, his arm and his athleticism made him one of the nation's best players.
Running play, Stinnett to throw, throws it back to Young. Young touches the ball. They do score!
In 1985, Young made it to the NFL with the woeful Buccaneers. He ran, often for his life. He wore creamsicle. It made for some awkward-looking football.
Because I could move around and I could use my legs, you end up sometimes overdoing it and not actually taking the time to really check things out, play the position. You're so wanting to stay on the field, you'll do anything. You cannot run around and play in the NFL. You have to throw the football from the pocket. You have to deliver it from the pocket on time. That's the job. There's no other job. You can try to make a career running around. You might be able to do it for a little while, but if you want to do this long term, that's the job. Do the job.
There were moments when Young indeed did the job, but there was only one coach who noticed them.
I was trained as a drop-back quarterback. I ran around a ton, but my training was still there. So when I was being traded from Tampa, I knew I just needed that platform. The quarterback position is impossible without support. When you have support, it's really hard. And you got to make it so at least it's really hard rather than impossible. And that's what I'm talking about, a platform, a place so that you can now go do the really hard work of playing quarterback because you've got all the support. So few places in the NFL actually could give you that platform to go be great.
It was Bill Walsh who saw the passer inside Young. It's Young who sees one in Tebow.
I worried that he just wasn't a quarterback. You know, just there's guys that just aren't skilled enough. What I have a firm belief in now, and seeing him up close and personal, is that he can do the job. He has the natural throwing talent to actually play quarterback in the NFL, drop back 40 times, and be efficient and be good at it, and then possibly great at it. He's got technical flaws that need to get fixed. Sometimes you have to just go backwards to go forwards.
Young's backward step was into the shadow of a legend.
Joe Montana was the greatest for a reason. How he ran offenses, the way that he read defenses, his demeanor, the way he studied, all those things I was forced to watch. I didn't want to watch, I didn't plan on watching, but I got that great opportunity.
He waited, he watched. When he played, the times he looked bad were doing him good.
You learn and grow at like 20% pace when you're watching. You learn and grow at about 100% pace when you're making the mistakes and fixing them.
When Young got the starting job in 1991, The years of watching, waiting, and learning had brought out the quarterback within. He became one of the greatest passers of all time, a Hall of Famer, and a champion, all because he was given a platform. But who will give Tebow his? And would he choose it over the lure of the field?
There's a reason why Jacksonville was the only team that really wanted him other than the Jets. It's because there's not a lot of people that believe that he can actually play the position. And I don't know if he went to the Jets as a capitulation that he said, well, I can't play the position, but I'm going to do all these other things. I hope that's not what's happening. Forget all this fiddle-faddle about playing all these positions and bending the offense to you and everything. He can do the job, but you got to believe that there's something that needs to be fixed. Tim has to do the work. Rather than the Jets coming to him, he needs to meet them halfway or even further to propel himself to have a chance to be a successful quarterback. And that's what he wants to be, a quarterback in the NFL.
Tebow might get there someday. His faces have been there. They know the way.
Tim continued to try to improve on the things you know you don't do as well as you want to do. Continue to improve on your passing accuracy without changing your motion. You get it out of there quick enough. And your footwork, Tim. Get your feet quicker. Dancing worked for old Joe. Off the field, the dancing kids laugh and all that, but I promise you, you work those feet on a dance floor, you're going to have quicker feet on the football field.
Keep doing what you're doing, and don't listen to anybody else outside of the box. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Go out and just win.
Tim, I think you should just continue the great example that you are, and I know that you're living that example. You'll continue to develop and become one of the great NFL quarterbacks. You've got the physical ability, and also you're mentally tough.
Brother Tebow, I would say just lighten up on lifting the weights a little bit. It can alter your throwing motion and cause you to use all arm as opposed to your body. Keep lifting, stay strong, because that's a part of your game. That's what caused you to be the Tim Tebow that you are. But I would say just be mindful of it. I'm very critical, but at the same time, just know I appreciate how you play the game, because it's going to give those kids who play the game like you that opportunity as well.
Tim, we're lefties, and we're scramblers, we're hard-headed, bullheaded, we'll run into linebackers, a lot of things that I appreciate about your game, and I don't want to take away from. You've outstripped everybody in some ways, but what you need to do in front of you is to play quarterback. It's what you want to do in the NFL. You've got to figure out how to deliver the football. You have the natural ability to do it, but you've got to deconstruct some of the things in the way that you do it so that you can be more effective. You can be really efficient. You could be great. Sky's the limit.
Maybe there's a quarterback inside Tim Tebow. But more important than that, there's strength. It may not be the strength to do all things, but to remain himself in the face of whatever comes. It's the strength to be Tim Tebow.